Hi, I'm Alex Hirsch, creator of Gravity Falls.
Hi, I'm Jackie Buscarino, the voice of Pacifica.
Hi, I'm Matt Brawley. I'm the director of the episode.
And this is Golf War. Golf War basically came out of mainly my obsession with mini golf. I love mini golf. Matt, we've played mini golf before.
Yes, we have.
Jackie, have you played mini golf with us?
Not with you guys, but I've played it in my lifetime.
Amazing
I have
sport.
played.
Sport of Mini Kings. I don't know. For some reason, I have a lot of childhood memories of me and my twin sister playing mini golf together at this one particular, I think, Golden Tee in Emeryville, California. And there's something about, I love how sad and gross they are.
Always sad, always gross.
Like, there's something about, like, I don't really like actual theme parks that are well made. I like tourist traps and kind of rundown spots that are covered in moss, and that there's probably just like there's graffiti and teenagers making out behind the windmill, and there's just something really creepy and sad about these places, which to me is enchanting. Like, I loved as a kid, I would be really like enchanted by the idea of, like, there'd be a little house and the ball would go in and you wouldn't know what was in there. And I always was like, I want to live in this little haunted house. I want to climb into this lighthouse and into the tower. Like, what magical things could be in there? So like this whole show is sort of mining those kind of childhood moments for like something that is normal but seems magical to you. Like, I also was really enchanted by, I was kind of a dumb kid. I was really enchanted by vending machines. Like just like all these treasures are inside, and there's glass between me and them, and if only I could climb inside. Like, Stan and his vending machine, and the fact that he's got a whole lab down there is 100% just me as a kid being like, the mysteries of vending machines, right? The mysteries of mini golf. This episode, so it basically came from me being like, writers, we need a mini golf episode. I like mini golf. And we thought of the idea that it might be, Pacifica was a character that, as I've described in other documentaries, I'm sorry to tell you this, Jackie, me and Michael Rianda, season 1, we thought Pacifica was the worst character
I'm proud of that.
that we had ever come up with. Like, honestly, you being the character made it way better, because when we had it in script, we were just like, this is the most hateable character.
That's so funny to me, because like when me and my board partner got the first script that she showed, and she was like immediately appealing to us.
They loved her. Well, they saw the humanity in Pacifica.
Yeah.
And Jackie did such a good job with her. We were like, there's this character with potential, and this season we're going to see if we can try to start getting into a little bit of that potential. And this episode was our first stab at trying to sort of dimensionalize her a little bit, and then we went further.
Baby steps.
Northwest Manor.
She does have a full arc, and she does get better.
Does, yeah.
And she has a change of heart.
It's beautiful.
Well, and we, the writers, had a change of heart too. We were like, you know what? I think we can make more out of this character. I think what we really loved about her to begin with was we loved that she brought out, whenever you add something to a cast, you're always trying to catalyze something in your main characters. So it's like, what can a character like this bring out in Mabel and in Dipper? Like, in Mabel, it brought out this rivalry that we're not used to seeing. Because, you know, Mabel's regular mode is to be really sweet and to not want to fight. And it was cool seeing somebody who would get Mabel to that place. And then she brings out pure instant sass and rage from Dipper.
Yeah, pure
Dipper's so
hatred.
protective of his sister that he becomes way more assertive around Pacifica, because he has no ambiguity in his mind at first about how he feels about her. He can't stand her.
Right.
And he's like, his normal social fear melts away when there's somebody who he hates that much, which is a lot of fun to see. Matt, can you tell us a little bit about the boarding of this episode?
Yeah, absolutely. So the boards for this episode were done by Alonso Ramirez Ramos, Emmy. I'm getting this all wrong. Come back to that.
Oh.
Was Emmy on this episode? Well, I know that you boarded. Didn't Chris Houghton do some?
Sabrina did revisions. Sabrina Coutinho. Oh, you know why I'm totally blanking out? Is because this episode was boarded by Alonso and me.
Yeah, Matt, even though he was a director, boarded a huge amount of this episode. Did an amazing job.
Totally. So this first half stuff, this is all Alonso right here, working out the mechanics of that giant windmill, and the windmill is about to play a huge part in this story. But yeah, he did a great job. And we did play a lot of mini golf together with you as well, so we did our field research for sure.
Yeah, this also episode is the very first time that we have Nathan Fillion as Pacifica's father. I don't think I've ever had a fan sort of point this out or ask me about the incontinuity, but I think it was Kevin Michael Richardson did the voice for Pacifica's father in the first episode that he appears in. he goes, "Good one, daughter."
Oh wow!
Remember that?
Yeah. History mystery. And,
In we're blanking on the name.
Irrational Treasure.
Irrational Treasure.
Irrational
Yeah.
Treasure,
In Irrational
yeah.
Treasure, he has that one line, "Good one, daughter."
Oh, wow.
And he was good. But I felt like for Pacifica's dad, I knew he was going to become more of a character, and I just wanted to bring somebody new to the cast.
Yeah,
who
he's
could add a little bit
fantastic.
extra. And Nathan Fillion, of course, amazing in that role. He only has like 2 lines in this episode, but he comes back in Northwest Manor and we see his full range of awfulness.
Close due to weather. The king of
This is me doing
I
the
was just
closest
gonna
to
ask,
Justin
that's-
Roiland voice that I do. It sounds like Justin.
When I was rewatching, I thought, did Justin come in to do that part?
Me and Justin have been friends for a long time, and as well as a friend of Jackie's, and I'm always doing impressions of him, and sometimes me doing impressions of him will be voices in the show. Oh, jeez. Oh, I'm a mini golf guy. Oh, jeez. This episode was written by Jeff Rowe, who had specific memories. We were talking about doing a mini golf episode. He's like, I want to do that. I love mini golf. And when I was a kid, we would always eat nachos after mini golf. That's a tradition, right? Don't you guys all do that? And we're like, no, that's just you. And he's like, please, can I put that in the episode? Nachos after mini golf. We're like, whatever. You're the writer, Jeff. Whatever
Jeff
you
is
want.
very passionate and specific.
Is there anywhere in America where it exists that there is a mini golf that is actually kind of polished and clean?
No,
and
no such
I know.
thing.
When you were talking about in Emeryville, there was one in L.A. where I grew up. Actually, it was in Norwalk. It's still there. It was built in 1974, and it hasn't changed since 1974. I think it has the same staff, and I remember it always looked so twinkling and beautiful driving off the 605 freeway. You could see
They're
it, and I
always
always
by
thought,
the freeways.
always by the freeway, and I always thought, wow, one day I hope that I can go there.
I can
And-
touch the castle with my own hands.
Oh my gosh! So when I finally got the chance to go there, I remember the first thing, like lining up to play, I could not understand because it was a little bit crowded.
Yeah.
I could not understand what is this? There was just a group of kids bashing the lights in with their golf clubs. And that's
accurate,
That
yeah.
is my memory of mini golf.
I don't think there is any new mini golf. I think they built all of them in the 70s, and they've just been accruing grime and
man.
misfortune, and it's just like, a plexiglass dragon, and then it's just like 50 possums spray painted green.
Absolutely.
Like,
Yep. But I think that's what's kind of fun about it too. Was I was going to a place I didn't know what other kids would be there, and are you going to meet boys?
Yeah, yeah.
And
That's why
what,
I like county fairs too. There's a
it's
bit
the
of
same.
danger in the air.
It's
You're
the
like,
same.
there's carnies
Pleasure
running this.
Island,
There's a
yeah.
guy with one tooth operating the machine, and you might break your arm, but what a memory.
Half the holes were shut down with crummy. This was probably before caution tape. I mean, I'm not that old, but I remember there was 2 folding chairs with like a tape or something, like this hole is shut down, and I think we only got through half of them.
Or enormous mini-humans.
Neither. We're Lilliputians. Lilliput. The name makes more sense written out than spoken. And we control the balls. Behold!
I have to call out Alonzo storyboarded this sequence. This
It's
is
beautiful.
One of those things where, as writers, we were like, we open up the windmill, revealing
Amazing
the craziest Rube Goldberg insane cuckoo clock device you've ever seen in your life. And whenever something is that difficult and complicated and design heavy, we give it to Alonzo. and
Absolutely. He really
always
wanted,
makes it even better than we imagined.
He really wanted a tiny cow. He wanted them to have a tiny like golf cow. I think
There is a scene. He storyboarded a little golf
Like, yeah,
man
she's, like,
milking a little golf cow.
Oh,
Yeah.
that would have been so cute. What happened to it?
I think it was just a little world breaking.
Alex,
It felt
cut
a
it.
little too weird. It felt to us a little. Well, it's always something that I would always say is that we generally, except in very rare exception, have quote one magic per episode, right?
Right,
So like
right.
the idea of like you've got a weird race of mini golf people. That was kind of one magic. The moment they have like little miniature animals,
Yeah.
then it starts to feel like
The whole thing breaks,
I don't
man.
know. I have my own weird hangups
Well,
about what's too weird.
The illusion
of
is
course,
shattered.
this was fine for me. These weird, these golf Frenchmen, but a mini cow was a bridge too far. This is
Oh my god.
Mr. Peterman from Seinfeld. We
that.
got him to do a John Hurley one line.
My favorite joke in the episode where he's like,
Wiener
"Wieners, who wrote
Castle. Who wrote this? So this was actually a surprisingly difficult episode to crack because I think
look at it, man.
It's weirdly ambitious, even though it's on a very small scale.
Oh man, that's great. Love that duck.
That's the same model as Ducktective. We didn't want to design a new duck, so we just grabbed the duck design and just.
Was that in the script, or did you guys add that in when you were boarding?
I think that was in the script.
It was. Oh, that was cute.
There was a lot of additions in the board for this episode, though. It was something that it was just such a bizarre situation, so visual that we knew we could add a lot of gags. The team did a great job. I have to call out Patton Oswalt, who did the voice of this little
It's really funny
mini munchkin fella. He is so good and can do anything, and we got him on this one dumb role, which is very common on our show. We get somebody who's insanely overqualified, and then we just have them be like a golf ball or a duck or a goblin.
But
or
they
something.
gladly do it.
Yeah,
they want to be a part of it.
I think at this point, since we were in season 2, the show had a bit of a reputation of being kind of fun and subversive, and it was a little easier to get guest stars than it was before.
I loved this. I remember reading the script, how you're talking about how you loved like tiny houses and like what's going on behind, and even vending machines. It reminded me of like the Littles. It was so much where I wish that so much when I was little. That's something I'd open something up and reveal this whole world.
Absolutely.
And I think that's how I thought music was made when I was really little.
Inside the stereo, there's a bunch of little guys.
Well, yeah, speakers back in the day were these huge. They beat coffee tables. You would use them as furniture. And there was one in the living room, and I would sit and look and see how can I open the screen to this, because the Littles are going to be behind there.
They're cranks. And
they're gonna
calliope.
Yeah, and I thought they were the ones who were singing, and it was ABBA or
they're very talented that the miniature people can do different styles.
Yeah, I couldn't understand it. My mom asked me, "What are you doing?" She probably thought, "What's this freaky child doing staring at this piece of furniture?"
My daughter's brain is broken.
Nah, she's figured it out.
Yeah, and I thought, well, who's making those sounds? Who are the tiny people in there that are making these sounds that are coming out of the radio?
So much of the series was about trying to think of those things. Like when you were a kid and you didn't know the answers to things, like what were those mundane things that felt like they had a whole world of mystery hiding? I don't remember where this gag came from, but the fact that his magazine is called Aficionado, it's got one aficionado studying another one and appreciating him.
It's really good. That looks like a prop joke to me.
We liked stuff as dumb as that.
Something really cool, Alex, is that you guys were adding jokes like as late as prop design. You know what I mean? Like if newspaper headline or anything.
Seriously though, I don't know why you bothered to come.
I love that her diamond earrings are literally diamonds.
They're just diamonds.
It's
it's like a MS Paint. Yeah.
And it was always a pleasure getting Jackie in the booth to do Pacifica, because me and Jackie knew each other from way back. We worked on Marvelous Misadventures of Flapjack together, which was Thurup's show. Thurup's the voice of Gideon. That's how we all knew each other. And so I knew that Jackie had this great, funny voice. I knew Thurup had this great voice. And like I said before, Pacifica was a character that we weren't really sure we liked so much. And then I was like, how do I make this likable? Oh, Jackie is somebody I know who is like sharp and vicious.
Very vicious.
Jackie is somebody I know who's incredibly sassy, who always has a comeback, but who I love, who's so funny and great. I'm like, okay, she's somebody who can add like a likable humanity to this mean character. Did you enjoy doing Pacifica's voice?
I love her. What Matt was saying earlier about I love villains and bad people. I always have, and I think she's got a lot of depth to her. So she's got problems. She's kind of twisted.
Yeah,
we find that out later why she is the way she is, and I love that so much.
That was the most exciting thing for us, was that this character obviously has a lot to learn. And it's like, I can't wait for that to happen.
Matt, we got to talk about. So this was not in the script.
This was sad.
Matt, can you tell us?
Yes,
about
absolutely.
Big Henry.
I'm so happy to. So, somewhere in the animatic process for this episode, I was watching the episode, and it came to me that our funniest joke was in Act 1, and it was currently the part where the imagination boys go like, "Oh, sick burn."
Oh yeah.
And you're kind of in bad shape if you don't have like a killer gag in Act 2 before you get to the Act 3 like action stuff. So we just needed something like a point of interest. So like I crafted this whole Big Henry crazy and a sort of a reference to John Henry versus the steam engine, just to have this little world of tragedy underneath the ground with these golf people.
And does he really die? That's what I wanted. I don't want that to happen.
You know what? I
Then
leave
for
it to
you,
the
he
viewer
is
of the
not.
imagination.
He is
They sent him
made
to
a
the Big
full
Henry
recovery.
farm.
Yes. He's fine.
And Matt, that was you and Houghton, Chris Houghton
Me and
worked
Chris
on that?
Houghton worked on that together.
And I remember the
Yes.
first time, because this is something that did not come from the writer's room, and I remember when Matt pitched this to me, I laughed so hard, but then immediately was frozen with terror. I was like,
Right.
this feels way too dark for the show.
Right.
I don't know if we can do it. Let's see. Let's pitch it to we pitched
Sure.
it to the crew.
Sure.
Everybody laughed. And I remember the night before this episode aired,
Oh,
I
boy.
couldn't sleep. I was like, I think maybe we went too far, and like people are gonna be asking for our heads. And I remember talking to you, Matt, the night before. I was like, this is on you.
Yeah, I was also very worried.
This is on you, Matt. And then like people loved it. Like it was just because it was so weird.
Yeah.
And I think something that I would sometimes forget, and it's actually a lesson I learned on Flapjack Thurup's show, was that you think of a really weird joke, and then there's something about the process of by the time it's colored and animated
Yeah.
and finished, there's always a slight normaling that happens. And
Yeah.
keeping it weird
gets
is
sanded down,
Yeah, things
yeah.
tend to get softer. So like keeping it weird is actually a process.
What's going on here? Let me go.
What was I'm backing up here.
Yeah.
Pit Cola.
Oh,
What
Joe
it-
Pit
what it-
Cola.
Pit Cola is a reference to one of our designers and directors, Joe Pitt.
Okay.
Just season 1, we didn't have prop designers at first. We just had character designers, and we were all just going crazy with the like, it's my name. It's Pit Cola, and the
okay.
TV is Worrell brand television. Like Ian Worrell, our background artist. And, like you're not supposed. They frown upon doing that because it's like inside jokes for us. Like
still, that's
it's not
cute.
for any kid, but we,
Yeah, it gives
we
it
like the
texture.
idea of having. Yeah, well, it's like
Better than Schmepsy or something.
yeah, like we just wanted our own thing, even if it was.
This
a
is
joke.
weird. I just want to call this
Yeah.
out that Pacifica has like a Razr flip phone, even though like this is a post smartphone kind of. This is like 2013 or something.
Yeah.
that's something that's always just kind of stood out to me.
Gravity. We were talking about this in another episode that like Gravity Falls. In my mind, people are like, "Oh, what canon year is
Sure.
it?" Like to me, there is no canon year
Sure.
for Gravity Falls. Like Gravity Falls is a town that. Gravity Falls is a town where things from like my childhood are there if I want them.
Sure, I
so like
gotcha.
I grew up in the 90s, so there's kind of like an early 90s, 80s-ish vibe to a lot of the sort of the
Sure,
fashion
sure.
and technology.
Sure.
But then if for a story point we need something like
Sure.
the show is a lot more sort of emotional than logical, and
Sure,
things like
I
a
feel
real
ya.
time
I
don't
feel ya.
exist. But you're right; it is weird that
She should have
Pacifica
had
has
a
flip
beeper.
phone. Pacifica just has a fax machine in a rucksack that she takes out.
No, I like it. It makes it timeless because nobody's gonna remember razors, so I think it's cool.
I got to give Jeff Rowe, our writer, credit. A lot of the like best jokes in this episode, he wrote this episode, came from him. The whole line about Dipper saying, "Pacifica's rich, Mabel. She's cheating at life." those really sharp,
It's
pointed
really
lines
great.
usually come from Jeff.
This is a really, really funny script. I think was it called Par Wars at some point?
There was a lot of different golf puns.
We gotta get out of here!
I have to save Pacifica first.
This sequence was boarded by Matt. You did a phenomenal job of this. All the way that we could get action in a mini golf.
Sure.
Like that's also part of why we did this episode. Was just like there's such an opportunity for adventure in all these set pieces.
Yeah.
This is great.
Oh yeah. He's just yeah. Good times.
You long enough and watch the earrings. They're worth more than your house.
I love how even while being rescued, Pacifica is just.
Yeah, but look at it. You see the chemistry, the magic.
We have you at miniature pencil point. There's no way
I like coming up the action turnaround, like
Yeah.
seeing that was good.
That
Did
was
you-
no, that was actually boarded by Dana Terrace. It was one of her
Oh.
first revisions she did on the show.
this right here.
Absolutely.
Oh, no kidding. I didn't know
good.
Dana
Absolutely,
did this.
absolutely.
She did a
And
great
I remember
job. Yeah.
she turned it in, and I was like, "Oh, that looks great, great." Oh, this stuff's cool. Gotta have a
It's so fast. So much has happened in this one episode. It's
Yeah.
like, oh, it's so good.
Yeah,
like
we
a
would always we
movie.
try to think of our episodes generally as like little mini movies, and we
Ooh.
wanted to have some kind of big action set piece at the end. We wanted to have a visual escalation, so it started during the day, it ended at night. And some episodes that feeling is more successful than others. And this is honestly probably like our third or fourth golf cart chase in the
yeah.
series.
Hey, but the golf cart is in a costume, so it's okay.
Well, we love chases and we love car chases, and these are kids, so they can't drive cars. It's
Right.
like we love chases, we love fights, but we can't have the kids shooting a bunch of stormtroopers, so they can fight gnomes, they can fight golf people.
Yeah.
Like, what are things that they can fight? Yeah, Matt did a fantastic job boarding the sequence. Such
Animation here was on
fun,
point too.
good action, and yeah,
That
was
stuff's
this?
cool.
Is it? I was gonna say, who's your animation studio?
This is Yerim. This is their
is
first
Yerim,
animation,
and they did a really good
yeah, it's
job
really
with this first
great.
episode.
What did you say, you little trolls?
Well,
I
and
like that. I will sue you.
I love her.
I,
man. I love her.
I use that line in real life.
Well, that was the fun of Pacifica, was like once she's on your side, she could become a very valuable ally. So all of that prickliness that could be so awful when she's your enemy, if she starts to become your friend, suddenly is an asset.
Lucky this sticker looks fantastic on me.
That's as close as you can get to something nice. Is I will accept your kindness as a way to
This
say that
is-
I look great.
See, she's starting to come around right
She's-
here.
it's
This
all
is all
happening.
happening when she
Yeah.
gets in the car.
laying the track. I love this when she's yeah.
Seuss, there's a lot of songs like that in the show. What is that supposed to be, man?
Like
Is that
gum?
like
I think
soda?
I think it's just like melted candy, sugar, gum.
Melted candy? Yeah, here's our payoff for the idea of them getting tacos in the middle of the episode.
I'm with Pacifica on this one. This is a gross family.
I know. Dirty.
I think at the time this was written by Jeff, we would spend a lot of time going and getting fast food late at night, sometimes in Mike Rianda's car, and Mike always had food.
Oh.
There was always like week-old Chick-fil-A in there.
That's a nightmare car to be in.
Yes. Yeah. Seuss doesn't mind being referred to as a servant. Like, if anything, he's like, I've been upgraded. My bond is lifetime now.
This is great.
Yeah,
This is a well done shot, and I think this was our first look at Northwest Manor.
I believe so because it had to hook up to what's coming.
Yeah, and I gotta give Ian, our art director, credit for coming up with that design of like this just giant stately. We were trying to figure out a way to make it not just look exactly like every mansion in every
Sure.
show, and that the sort of the Pacific Northwest motif.
Oh, this song. This is a Matt Chapman, Shion Takeuchi, and Jeff Rowe collaboration.
Yes.
It's amazing. They sent like a demo with them on a keyboard. It was so funny.
Now he gets it. Like, I love jokes like that where it's not the joke is in the corniness of it, and then I think.
There's a love of musicals though. Like who's the one who kind of did the choreography?
Alonzo and I did the choreography together, but the song was already written, so the love of musicals was already there.